Um, Hello, we are here to do the Pirates of Drinax episode 20, the big 20 now. We 20 episodes in of Pirates of Drinax. Celebration of some sort should be in order. Yes, we are on the quest for the treasured fable of Sindal. We've been picking up pieces of um locations from different message globes from uh, courier ships and stuff from like 2,000 years ago on these different planets heading towards Ace. We know we need to have all the coordinates and be on Ace to be able to determine where the ship is, or the the treasure is. Um, so far, yeah, we've gone to Noricum, picked up a piece. We've gone to Thebes, the giant junkyard. Hornswoggled some recyclers slash pirates into joining the crew, and got the other piece. And then through Chris's research, we know that the last piece we need to grab is on number one, the planet number one. Uh, So, anybody want to do any computers or research, or computers or investigation or anything to find out what they need to know about number one as we prepare our jump for number one? And let me ask a question, James, to my other fellow traveler, scholar, I guess. Um, if your ship is like jump three capable like this, and you only do a one sector jump, can you technically still have enough hydrogen to do a two sector jump, or do you burn it all?
Uh, so, according to Mongoose 2E, which is coming out in the latest High Guard, is we had a discussion on military ships for the Imperials,
Yeah,
and the standard is a jump of 4 and a maneuver of 6.
yeah,
Now the fuel is for the jump, but one of the tactics is to jump in 2 or 3 so that you have a jump to get out, refuel, and go somewhere.
that's what I was wondering. I was like, so it
So,
doesn't.
so if we jump 1, we still have 2 jump 1s left or a jump 2.
Gotcha. That's what I was thinking. I didn't think it just burned it all. And it's like, oh well, you only jumped one. I thought I remember reading that in there somewhere, but I was like, I didn't. I was too lazy to go search it through it again.
Now, where Mongoose has buried it in 2E, I'm not sure, but the rewrite of High Guard will address that.
Got it. Got it. I was thinking the same thing. Good, good, good. So yeah, because I did want to lay that out because we did. I do remember we gassed up on Thebes.
Yes.
On the gas giant, and we're only jumping one over. So you technically still have a jump two available even after we jump to number one.
And I just want to say this for the folks at home: if you're new to Traveler and you're getting ready to play it yourself, or more importantly, run it, headcanon trumps everything.
Headcanon
trumps
everything.
If it makes sense and everybody agrees with it, go with it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It just made more sense. I was like, they didn't just burn it all for one jump. I was like, that seems like a waste. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do an investigate skill.
Okay, you're going to investigate?
I have specific questions and probably not the skills to get this information. I'd like to know if the planet we're going to, am I going to have to pile drive like the ship into like a chunk of like forest like I did a couple sessions ago, or am I going to be able to like actually land it at a reasonable spaceport where with actual humans who know what a spacecraft is?
And that would be an investigate as well, kind of along with what Sir Lacrity's doing.
Yeah, just be quiet and eat your lettuce.
I take an enormous bite. I'm just saying, I could probably land it. But it's going to be harder if I don't know these things.
Anyway, I got a 12 on investigate, sir.
Nice.
Yeah, and remember that all the Aslan and Varga right now are all upset because you just said human as opposed to, it could be a Varga spaceman. Guys, but you said human.
All the Vargers like, hey, what?
I thought we weren't on good terms with the Aslan. We don't have problems if the Aslan show up to touch the ship. Isn't that right?
You don't have to be on good terms with them, but you don't have to be racist either. Just saying.
Or species, actually, but yeah.
Species. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm a horrible person.
exactly.
Apologize for my misstep. Would you care for some lettuce? I don't know how to make this better.
You're trying. You're
Yeah.
just
And it's not, that's
exterminating.
not even counting the uplifted dolphins and chimpanzees running around also.
Exactly.
Before we dive into today's session, did anybody happen to write down the name of the scout vessel, the salvage hauler that Captain Imps
I got him.
is part of our fleet now?
I got him. Here, hang on just a minute. Let me scroll to it. It's not those guys. It's these guys. The Proactive Recycling Incorporation. So,
Captain, right?
yeah. So the yacht was called the Lioness. That was the one that the Baron Mucky Muck, the Baron in Exile was on. Then there was a Vulture class salvage hauler. It's the one with the jaw that drops down and the claws and shove stuff into the jaw. It's called the Cicada, like the bug, Cicada.
Uh-huh.
The Cicada.
Katie did.
And then the scout ship was called the Big Job.
Good job.
The Big Job. One word, Big Job.
Okay. And I've got Captain Kolith was the scout ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Captain Imps was the Cicada.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Baron,
Baron Karuta.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Emsk is a Varger, if I remember right. So
That is correct.
Keep our
Yeah.
specious pilot away from him.
Just saying. So what are you wanting to know, Elisa? So you're wanting to know like how well you're going to land on this. Do you have investigate as
I
well?
do not, which is why I was saying it out loud and hoping Sir Alacrity would
Oh, got it.
that.
So Alacrity is like looking and stuff. So yeah, when you're looking at the info that's coming in from about number one, you're kind of almost like crestfallen, Sir Alacrity. You're looking at this, and it's almost a water world. There are like islands dotted all over it. That are basically, giant underground mountains that have broken the surface, underwater mountains have broken the surface. And just, that's what an island is. So it's pretty much that. The water here has some extra elements and stuff in it that makes it, I guess, technically like heavy water. It's a little denser than like your normal water. It doesn't behave like water that you normally see.
So it's got a higher viscosity.
Yeah, and again, and the depths in it are truly crushing. Like the lower you go, like the truly eggshell crushing depths, can happen. But there is like a technology on the planet, a population on the planet of like about 12 million. Honestly, not bad. For a mostly water world. And of course, they do have a lot of underwaters like colonies and stuff like that do mining and stuff like that. There's a lot of mining that's done on the surface of the planet underwater. So they do have like civilizations, like towns and stuff like that. Actually, the only starport is like on the highest mountain that basically connects to the other underwater places via like what did these call funiculars? Basically like a streetcar in a tube, basically that's what it was. So yeah, it's kind of like they just are like hitting like natural like anti-grav technology, tech level 9 on that planet. So they are advanced, particularly towards like underwater technology and stuff like that. But they're not like true space travel advanced. But yeah, they do have a starport there. This planet actually,
What's the rating on that starport? A, B, C, D, E? Oh,
I
well,
believe
C.
it is.
I'll just look at it.
Yeah, I think it's a C. I think it's a C.
Yeah.
So yeah, not great. Like, days in at best.
It's got gas giants.
Yeah, days in at best.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
nothing I'm hearing is as horrible as some of the things we've done previously. So I'm feeling good about that aspect.
Well, here's the horrible part.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah, exactly. So the planet actually was, and especially when you start looking back into the time where like that courier would have been through here, it was basically kind of like where you guys came from. It was a prison planet. Like there was underwater prisons, kind of like where you guys started this thing at. Was in a prison underwater. So it was like like I said, like a prison planet where a lot of undesirables got dropped off to spend time on an isolated world that, minimal escape because you were underwater at the beginning, from the outset, sometimes miles deep, underwater. So yeah, that whole part of it, you're like, oh, well, that's not cool. And they still kind of follow like the same, even though there is a government on the planet, they still kind of follow like the same structure as they would if it was still a prison planet. Like instead of like the title of the ruler being president or king or duke or whatever, the title of the person in charge of the planet is called warden. So yeah, that's happening. So you guys are basically going onto like a planet that used to be a prison planet and still by and large is. Like the whole structure of it is the government is of like a prison planet. So that's what going in.
Okay.
So on one hand, like they're, better
So
used to. On the other hand, murderers potentially running rampant.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
I mean, we all were in prison. That doesn't mean anything, and we're perfect.
Yeah, I know. I'm speaking as a murderer. I mean, I'm not like knocking the fact that the planet could be covered in murderers, but
just as a point, except for the professor and Ev, the rest of us escaped prison.
Well, Ev was released. Yeah, Ev was released.
And the professor, as far as we know, isn't wanted for prison.
He's the only solid citizen in the group. He's the only solid citizen. Yeah, he's it.
That's valid.
Not so much as a parking ticket. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if I did something egregious and was caught, I'd be sent back. Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
There is that 20-year-old overdue library book that's on his criminal record. That's about it. The fine on it's like 3 million credits now.
You need one person with some shred of respectability now when the rest can't be seen.
Now I'm thinking of an entire game where you play library cops, chasing down people across the galaxy for overdue fines.
I'm going to say the Air Affair by Jasper Ford with Thursday Next.
That entire series is good, yeah.
It is.
Nice.
It really is. I love how they went on and on about the one character who no one remembers from Pride and Prejudice because he was killed, and that's the whole point. No one knows who he is.
Yeah.
So Ev's like, oh no, we need one upstanding citizen on ship to be like the respectable face. I mean, it's not going to be me. I can't.
You're not that guy. You're not
Yeah.
that
Even before I
guy.
killed somebody, I certainly wasn't that person. I mean,
Have
We'll send him
one
cat killer.
honest send out face to face while we get shit done.
What?
no, it's beautiful symbiosis. It's absolutely beautiful symbiosis, Captain. I 100% agree.
Exactly.
So here's my question: like, is there any research that anything that we can do to narrow down where we think this globe might be? So yeah,
and that's where we would need like a history and another. Well, we can operate off of his 12 in investigation. That was a really good roll. What is that? That's like +2 on a task chain.
No, it's +1 for like every 5.
Oh yeah,
So-
so that's only 4 up. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's a +1.
So it's
It's
+1.
just-
Yeah, so +1 on your history while you're researching that there, Professor
Okay.
Davian.
Okay. 5.
you can fire the dice.
5. So you don't know. I mean, it could be anywhere.
Yep.
You'll have to like, talk to people. Yeah.
The horrors.
Okay, so we know that the first one that we found was under a lake, building under a lake on North.
This whole planet is basically underwater. Yeah.
Phoebus was in an abandoned. Hang on, I had it written
It's on a
down.
courier ship. Yeah.
I think the main point is that no matter where we look, it's probably going to be somewhere old, and it's probably going to be somewhere where no one goes anymore.
Well, I
Got
think
it.
time on Phoebus, we scanned for the material of the ship,
We did.
the age
We did.
of what we were approximating.
We did.
So can we do that again?
You would, but I'm going to put GM plot foil in here due to the elements and stuff in the water. You can't scan that far into the water.
Oh,
Liar!
we were terrible. Oh.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. I'm going to mollycoddle this just a little bit and say no.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to go in person. Gosh, unsurprising.
Yeah.
Anyone else want some lettuce? Gosh.
Yeah, before we land though, too, now especially since we have Pedro, we need to take care of this teledrift thing too, don't you think?
Oh yeah, he was just asking. Is he still grounded?
Hey,
All right.
Teledrift, Captain, I designed a tinfoil hat for him that he has to wear, and they'll keep him from being able to do any telepathic stuff.
I mean, he can wear like a sonic device. You can chain him down if you wish. Put a leash on his ass.
I have a question. Where is Teledrift spending his days? I mean, we have been taking him on these magical adventures because Teledrift has skills. We need those skills. But on ship, what is happening to Teledrift? Or is he being confined to quarters?
I think so, right? I think
What's going on?
I think we gave him cleaning duty.
it's permanent KP.
He had to clean.
Cleaning up after Ebb, I mean, that's a monumental task in itself. I'm just saying.
Oh, come on. It's lettuce. It's not even sticky. It's not like eating it with exotic sauces. These aren't buffalo wings. Not this time, anyway. Not that. No, we have ribs. We don't have in-game buffalo wings, do we? We don't even have buffalo for buffalo wings.
Hey, remember,
Throat wings.
Grow
it's
wings.
thousands of years in the future. They genetically engineered buffaloes to have wings now.
Nice.
So it's beef on tiny bones. That's even better. I mean, that's really close to ribs, but it's still different and better. I like it because it's wings. I mean, I will at least try to be nice to Teledrift because I suspect that no one else is going to be nice to Teledrift. I mean, if he's been put on cleaning duty, I will not make deliberate messes for him to clean up. And I will even attempt to engage Tildriff in conversation if he wants that kind of like, hey, how's it going?
He's over there.
How's
How's
it?
One prison to another, I suppose.
Well, I mean, I'm really not good at being like a counselor or like even a person people want to have conversations with. So
No, that was my job.
yeah, I know. And then you fucked up real bad.
Real bad.
I mean, it's not all your fault. Don't get me wrong. I
No,
mean,
it's mostly the GM's fault.
you were kind of put in a really god awful situation, and I acknowledge that, and I'm sure most
Well, I'm
people
glad
acknowledge
you see that.
but-
I'm glad
Yeah.
you see that.
But there is a giant. Well, I mean, I killed a dude. I have different perspectives on all these things.
Yeah, I can't say I've murdered anyone.
I totally have murdered someone, so
I don't hold that against you at all.
well, thank you. And I acknowledge that you certainly weren't the only player on this. And you certainly weren't the seat of power on this one either.
He was
So
but a
what's your
pawn.
plan?
So yeah, or is he
What's your plan to
side
get things
collar?
done?
Is he is he
Well,
Like, you
my
got a
plans never
sonic leash on
changed. It was always to support Hashna
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
her endeavors, and
Yeah, basically, I designed a.
I would love to see her in power to change the corrupt nature of the empire. And
Wait, corrupt?
Yeah, the
Well-
device I designed fits, behind his ear, and there's two. I created two switches turned on and off. I gave one to Hashna and one to Sir Alacrity in case
Well, I mean-
we need him.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing. Yeah, you built it, but Captain Hoshner, are you implementing it? Does he have to wear it?
I'm gonna actually go talk to Teledrift because we haven't had
We
any,
haven't had that talk. We haven't had that talk.
had any conversation at all.
No.
Other
So
than-
Okay, I'll just mute because this is gonna be good.
We'll just-
You probably, I will probably you'll probably walk into a conversation where Ev is badly, and I mean badly, trying to sort of like, well, you need to have a plan. Like, forgiveness comes in like a million steps, but maybe like 3 or 4 are really important, like admitting that you screwed up somehow, at least as much as you can, talking about how you'll make amends and how you'll never do it again. Like in some way that actually sounds actionable, like you can do it.
So,
I think the need for
That's 3.
altering her memories have come to a long end.
By the way, Hashna, do you want us to start calling you Your Highness or anything
And I
like
get the
that?
feeling my actions should speak louder than any words I have to say.
Well,
That's
okay,
the only
then.
way. That's the only way for Hashna to really see.
Well,
effort.
you're better at this than I am, so let's see how that goes. Yeah, no, I
Ah, yes.
Meanwhile, Hasha walks in. She's like, "So,
Yeah.
Teldrick, do you know the difference between toilet paper and wallpaper?" Teldrick's like, "No." Hasha's like, "Good."
hallway on the other side of the door until this awkward conversation ends before I go in.
All right. So yeah, let's have. Should we have that talk or should we table it for after the game?
It's not going to
This
be.
could take it. It's not gonna be terribly long. Okay, I'm just. Chad's only got like another hour with us, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be terrible.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I'll come into the kitchen where I know Teledrift is, and after listening to Ev's like advice and all of that, and go down at the table, like kind of just cross my hands and sit back and just wait awkwardly for a moment.
I'll acknowledge Captain Hashna. I'm like, oh, welcome to the bridge, or where
The
are
galley.
we specifically?
We're probably
The
in the
galley?
galley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the galley, Captain.
You... Why don't you have a seat? Teledrift. We should talk.
Do you want me to leave? I mean, I really want to watch. Do you want me to
She's
leave?
over there, got a cheese doodle hanging in half out of her mouth.
Well, whatever you say, Captain. Set the broom off to the side, and I will take a seat.
I just want to say I'm still upset, but
You know,
I
you
get
have
why-
every reason to be upset.
I understand it. I understand it completely, and I have no desire to be in power myself, but I'm not opposed to my daughter being in power. The only thing I can say is it's going to take some time, but I'm willing to extend that trust to you and give you a second chance. And if you can help assist me in building up my daughter powers to from happening to her.
Well, Captain, my role has always been to be your advisor and counselor, and that has never changed my mind, despite the facts that I did help continue a lie in your memory. I'll take responsibility for that. I will not turn away from that. But I appreciate your willingness to give me this chance to regain that trust that I managed to lose in the process. If you want me to help your daughter, I will take that as another task to throw on myself. And I will make sure your daughter succeeds and change this current situation in the Empire.
All right. I'll just stand up and pat him on the shoulder and I'll be like, good to have you back. I'll just walk out of the room.
Okay.
Ooh, that
So-
felt like maybe 10% forgiven, maybe 15%.
That sounds like maybe a good 20, a full 20. Full 20. Not forgotten, but definitely like 20% forgiven. Nice. Nice. Fair enough. All right, so that all took place in like the little galley here in the aft end of the ship here at the top. I was trying to get it up here during the investigation, but I couldn't during the talk, but I couldn't get it going. Like number 6 is like the galley, the little area behind the crew quarters and stuff of the Dragnar. But anyway, you have that conversation, and you hear Ev piping up from the bridge where she looks and she realizes, oh, we're coming up on the system. We should all strap in.
This feels like work. Okay.
Yeah. The little beepers coming off. You're like, fuck. Put the straps in and stuff. Click it all together. Everybody basically strap in. We're coming out of jump and heading towards number 1. Again, you don't have a whole lot of info about where it might be on number 1. You're hoping it is on number 1. It makes sense that the courier ship would have gone here. It was like the last, planet in the chain heading on towards Ace. There's not a whole lot of other places it could have gone. So you're like, man, pulling this one out of our butt's gonna be fun. So you're heading towards Ace. Who's going to do our talking with Starport Control?
Who do we normally do?
Usually, I think Sir Lackerty does it. I think Sir Lackerty's pretty good at it. Porto.
Sir Alacrity had to mute on the comms button.
Are you going to do the talkie talk with Star Trek Control or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're coming on number one, and it doesn't have like a high port, like a station at space. It has a low port, which is basically on the top of their biggest island, and it's a big it would be a really nice resort kind of place on almost like a tropical kind of like Hawaii type volcanic island, except that this place is run like a prison. So there is beautiful vistas and stuff like that, but everything's like all the architecture is like gray and steel and stone.
I feel like a little paint, and this place could really
little paint go a long way.
Some plants, something that grows really pretty, like those violently pink and purple fruits or flowers or both. I don't know.
Little hula skirt miniatures and stuff. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. The little bobbleheads. But so yeah, this is number one Starport Control. We have you on our scope.
Hello.
I guess who are we receiving?
Who are we today?
Who's our shit? Who are we today?
Aren't we the Dragnar out of Drinax, or have we done something else, Hashna?
No, I think we're the Dragnar today.
What's that?
I think
we're the Dragnar today? Okay.
We'll be the Dragnar today.
We'll be Dragnar.
We're the DSS Dragnar?
The Dragnar? You're a long way from home.
We're still in the same sector. What are you talking about?
That is true. But yeah, he doesn't get a lot of traffic from Drinax, though, honestly. So he's like, state your business on number one.
Excuse me?
State your business on number one.
We're on
refuel and conduct business.
Business. Oh, okay. Do you have any dangerous cargo, fruits, vegetables, blah, 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 blah? Anything you wish to declare?
Man, we have the best lettuce in the galaxy.
It's true!
So
it's a sweet butter variety. You have not had greens until you've had this lettuce guy.
And at that point, when they hear all this, they're like, please dock at station 52J and prepare for customs inspection. They want to see this lettuce.
Sweet.
They're like, isn't that code for wheat? Does you hear him click before he clicks off?
That's what I thought too. I mean, I thought it was going to be good, not hydrating good, but good,
I'll pipe up, Captain, if you'd like me to handle customs. I'll be more than.
Well, sure. You want me to back it into the parking space first, though?
So yeah, let's do our piloting roll as we land on the starport. I'm sorry,
right.
James had something to say. You're muted, James. You're muted.
Can't hear you.
Muted.
I don't even know how I got remuted. All right, so before we land here, as soon as the communication finishes, I go on internal communication.
Yeah.
And I say, all hands now hear this. Put all the big weapons in the ship's locker. You're only allowed to have the weapons they can't see.
Actually, yeah, good point. The law level on this planet says bladed weapons only.
Yeah, everybody carry a knife, dagger, or sword, something like that, but,
No sidearms. No
gravity hammers. Little Cleo, put the hammer back.
My dog. All right.
I can still choke him, right, boss? I can still get some choke.
Yeah, you're you're fine.
Just grab him and squeeze.
Joking's fine. It can even be recreational if you want it to be, I'm sure. I don't know what the plan's like. Who knows?
My favorite part's putting the eyeballs back in when they pop out.
Oh,
That's
yeah, that's recreational.
my favorite,
Yeah.
that's my favorite
Yeah.
part. It's trying to catch them when they hit the ground. Put them back in.
The details. It's the details
It's a little
that make
thing.
this work.
It's little
Yeah.
things.
Highly illegal that we need to be dashing away.
I mean,
Law is concerned.
you do have about 50 million credits and jewels on here. I assume that you didn't put that in the First National Bank of Drinax or anything.
Well, they don't need to see that.
Well, they're customs. They're gonna.
They don't have to. They don't have to.
Tony,
What?
I know we got a crawl space somewhere. Shove it in there and make sure that they can't scan it.
Well, my thing too is to put it next to some of the engine, so engine parts of the engine room that has different types of radiation and stuff flowing back and forth. Where
Got
their
it.
scans
Hey,
aren't gonna
Tony,
work.
Tony, no one cares how you make it happen.
Of course they
Just
do.
that you do make it happen.
Do you know how many fan letters I've been getting about my performance as a scientist on this show?
0.
Wow, amazing. Okay, yeah, I'll hide it.
And you thought only Hashna and Teledrift were psionic.
So what's is there like a conceal on the character sheet? What is that?
It'd be deception.
Deception. Yeah, I mean you could do engineering to set you up for a bonus for deception. I would do engineering first to see where would I hide this to give you a bonus of deception.
Yeah, go ahead and do the engineering roll, Tony, and I'll do deception. I got a 2 in it. Anybody else can beat that?
Got a 10 in engineering.
So it gives you a +1.
Okay. 9, so 10, 11, 12.
All right, so you got it fairly well hit. You got it like over there behind the thermocoupler in the hydrogen chamber. Okay, but it's like nobody would really want to go look in there.
And not only that, but we pull out a can of Krylon for that, industrial gray primer. No sparkles here.
Hit it quick. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you scrape it right off, right? So you land on. Do me a landing there. I'll do a pilot roll.
All right. With an assist, I guess.
I
No, you
don't-
shall see.
Whoa!
Oh! Nice.
Oscars.
Nice.
Of course, it would be the routine roll. It shouldn't be anything fancy.
I just
or
love how you got
giant or-
boxcars on flying and a snake eyes on falconry. I just
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. I got a level 3 in cat perch. That's what I got, a level 3. Cat perch.
I'm not even sure what Ashna has in her lap.
Adorable,
Oh.
whatever it is.
There you go. It's very
Fluffers.
sweet. Very
It's
sweet.
furry and happy, so it's not her
Very sweet.
husband.
Fuck you, MODOK. I hate you. God, I hate you. We played Marvel Crisis Protocol, and he just like waxed me with MODOK. I hate MODOK with a passion. I hate him so bad.
He's a little broken.
Him in his death chair. It's like whirling blades on his death chair is just stupid. I'm like, what?
If you look closely at all of Marvel,
It's all stupid. Exactly. But MODOK is the brokest of the broke. He is. But yes. So anyway, back to the game. So yeah, you do this big, beautiful spiraling land down, very graceful. The wings kind of almost go up. It's really, really beautiful. Come in like a bird of prey, land down, just soft as a landing on a pillow there on the tarmac. And the customs officials are all like, "Oh, that guy's really knowing what he's doing. That person's an awesome pilot." He's just amazed, And the doors come down, and they're like, "Yeah, customs inspection." There's like 3 guys, and they got like scanners and stuff like that.
Do you have the paperwork ready, sir?
Oh yeah. We said that we heard there was something called lettuce on here. We need to check, just to check to see if there's any bringing any sort of contaminants to the planet.
We've thoroughly decontaminated everything. So, but I'm sure you'll find it exactly to your liking.
Exactly.
Ed stops mid-munch on her wedge.
And she's like,
looks
I got the big
around,
one.
horrified.
And he's got like the little wand out, and he's like looks at the lettuce, and you're pulling the lettuce, and you're like, sir, I'm getting like 20 rads off that lettuce. He's like, do you know that the lettuce is irradiated?
That's how we kill the contaminants.
Oh, it's a little high.
I dropped the wedge of lettuce.
I only got an 8 on my deception. That was good.
That's not bad. That's not bad. He's like, we gotta look at all this lettuce. This lettuce has got to be destroyed. This is highly irradiated.
I'm gonna
Tony, doctor, on the scale of I'm gonna throw up or I'm gonna die, where is this gonna land? That doesn't sound good.
He's like, have you noticed like any teeth loose lately, or some bleeding?
More than usual?
How's your? They look at your toe. Start looking at your fingernails and toenails. They're like, they shouldn't be that light blue. They really. That's not paint, is it? That's not fingernail paint. Polish.
Well, just hurt it up. No, it's not polish. Wait, people put polish on their nails? Why?
I know. Well,
wait, no. Let's walk this back. Why would someone do that to their nails intentionally? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is the dumbest thing ever.
Doesn't it come off? Doesn't it get glued? Doesn't it like?
You just say irradiated lettuce.
Inspector.
Yes.
Is anybody selling charcoal?
Charcoal? Can't think of it. No. Why? I mean, I'm sure to. No.
Why do we?
Believe it or not, I think it's somewhere by either Africa or over by India. There's monkeys that live on an island that has radiation.
Oh yeah, and they eat charcoal.
And they eat the charcoal, which actually keeps their rad count down.
Yeah, nice.
You want me to eat bird dirt? Okay.
Or charcoal.
With everything else you've eaten and your fascination with socks, I don't see this as a stretch.
First off, I never ate socks.
I said fascination with socks. I never said you ate them.
It was a weapon of vengeance, okay? Socks. Rage.
Inspector, do you need to see
this?
Huh?
You've got quite a collection.
I do, and I have no regrets because my feet are always dry. Okay, like comfortably dry, not cracky dry.
Yeah.
And I'm never going back. Honestly, I'm never going back to no socks.
Nice.
Oh come on!
Oh yeah, you guys
walking around on split heels on our planet. Come on!
You got all that dude's socks, right?
Professor, I'm going to leave this in your hands. I'm gone.
I stole all of his socks slowly over time because he was putting on his misses, and I wasn't cool with that.
So you don't want to try our
what?
You don't want to try our lettuce?
No, we're good. We're going to have to destroy all this, confiscate all this, and destroy it. We can't let this get brought on the planet.
There's one of our crew members worked really hard growing this, so
I know Raz and be like,
yeah, I'm not fighting this, so yeah.
If anybody asks, you're taking it to market, and we made a really good deal. Just you can destroy it.
Nice. So yeah, he'll do that. So he's like, yeah, we can do that. But yeah, they have to confiscate. They do like a cursory search over the rest of the ship. I mean, once you tell them about the lettuce and they pick up the rats off of it, that's kind of like what they're laser focused on, because that kind of initiated the whole custom search anyway. And so they did gather up all the irradiated lettuce. Probably came on with like 50 heads. Probably got like 30 heads left after El's been going through them. but yeah. So so they destroy all that. They do a cursory look on the ship. I mean, they barely even go down to engineering. He's like, you did all that work hiding the loot, and you're like, you sure you don't want to look anywhere else? I mean, you just barely looked in here. So, but yeah, they give the ship a pass. Give you your paperwork, and so yeah, you are now at Starport Control.
All right.
Starport Station.
Control.
Starport Station. Yeah.
So we're at the All right. So we're at the Starport.
Yeah, basically the airport. You're in the airport.
Okay.
So is the major? I know the prison is underwater, but is like the city and all of that above water, like on land?
Most of those cities are underwater. There is like this starport here that has like I guess like an airport type sky mall kind of a deal, but a very for lack of a better word, dungeony, very utilitarian looking sort of sky mall. Looks like a prison. Concrete walls and steel doors and stuff like that. It's not pleasant. Stuff is there, but it's like it's grim looking.
Are there any? So is there a map we can upload or anything? That layout of like any of the major municipal buildings?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Do a little recon. Give me some recon rolls.
All right, I got a +1.
Can we buy a map at the gift shop?
Exactly. It's basically what you're doing.
That's 11.
Yeah. So 11, like you're going to the gift shop and buying a map. So yeah. So while number one's population does number in the millions, there is the oldest settlement on number one. It's called Dragon's Dome. It's basically a city that grew up around like one of the first prisons. It's basically like their trading post and mining colony with a population of about 500,000 ruled by the warden. So Dragon's Dome is like their capital. And there's like a what I call like the funicular, like a subway train that goes in a tube from the mountain down underwater straight towards Dragon's Dome, which is about 500 kilometers away.
And how old is it?
Oh, it's definitely of that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless anybody's got any other suggestions, sounds like that's a starting point.
Do they want me to, would you all like me to do some local investigation as well? Like go through some archives if I have access to them, things like that.
I mean, and that's the thing, like you would have to go to Dragon's Dome and talk to somebody to get access to that stuff.
Go anyway, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can't like access it from the starport.
Got it.
All right. So, but we are allowed to carry knives.
Knives, blades, anything like that. You have to have like a permit for it. Like you get a permit from the starport. Yes, I'm permitted to carry this weapon.
So how much does that cost?
300 credits each.
Wonderful.
That's expensive. Usually it's like 5 or 10.
Little tax. I mean, you don't have to pay it. You don't have to have it. Why do you need the knife? That's what they're asking.
I'm on a prison planet. I'm carrying justice. I'm paying the 300.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The demand sets the price. So yeah. If you're carrying a blade, you have to carry that. And now, anybody trying to secrete like a body pistol or something on their person, I need to know.
Yeah.
So it's all blades all around.
And take their gun.
Got it. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, blades are lethal enough in Traveler, right? We found out like usually 1 or 2 rounds, it's done.
Sneaking per se, so no, this is a bad idea for her.
Okay. Now I got like a body pistol down in the bottom of a bag of Cheetos.
I mean, it would be very
Hey,
on brand.
Hashna,
for
I know you were
average
saying
one
stuff, but we
besides.
couldn't hear you.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Now,
you got
All I know is you were threatening to choke someone.
I was saying, Cat Killer said all you got to do is just squeeze.
Just squeeze.
I don't need a knife. Squeeze.
Oh, good point. Are we leaving Cat Killer and the group on the ship to watch the ship, or are they coming along?
Yeah, we got
Actually, Cat Killer can come with us, and we can leave the rest, the ones with brains.
Stinky
Yeah.
Pete, Little Cleo, and
Yeah. And the boarding party and all them.
yeah, Stinky
on the
Pete,
ship
Little
too.
Cleo, and Fat Florian. That's that. They are the boarding party.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Captain,
no, we
what's
hired
the-
a bunch of other boarders too.
Yeah, we've got
We got so much room on the ship now, guys. I think we hired like a boarding crew.
I've got their names if you need them.
Okay, yeah. I will need them later on. I definitely will.
Yeah.
I'll need like the full crew because we gotta look at how much. There's only so many bunks on the ship.
Right, but we can put people in the cryo tubes and just bring them out.
Wake up, go fight. But I had basically set up like Cat Killer, Fat Florian, and Little Cleo, like they are the boarding crew.
Yeah, there's a handful of folks that we hired from Peter.
Okay, Peter Valus, yeah. I will need that. I won't need that this adventure, but I will need that. So, but we'll assume they're on the ship. Got it. So that basically ensures I'm not going to do anything devious to the ship while you're gone. So, like launch missiles at it or something. Someone's still better. But anyway, so you get on it's like those little tube trams that like on Logan's Run. You sit down in the little car and it goes in a tube and you're like going down the mountain. It's almost like a roller coaster ride because you're going straight down, from this mountainside and right into the water, down in the water, and you're going down and you're going down and you're going down, and you're like looking and you're like, man, I hope that glass or plastic, whatever it is like really strong because you're going down, and it gets dark really quick, and then the lights come on the tram. And they're bubbling through and stuff like that. And they've got like all kinds of little screens and stuff to give you information about the planet, stuff like that, Dragon's Dome. Everything to keep you focused like on side of the tube. They don't want you to like really like get creeped out by the fact that you're in a tube miles down underneath the water. They don't want any people like freak out on that. So you're doing that, you're going down. And you do realize there is like through your research there, just kind of like watching the little video, you do realize there is like an information kind of desk that you can go to, Professor Davian, and talk to some people and to kind of get the ball rolling. Like, hey, I need to see something about this.
Yeah. What do you want from me? Do you want history, computers, what?
No, basically it's given to you. Like you got to go see Mr. Turner at the records desk. They'll be glad to help you. You have any questions about the history of number one? Go please see these people. At the research desk. You're doing that. You're going to you get let out into Dragon's Dome. Which again is like they're a huge underwater city. It's underneath a dome. They call the transparent dome that you're under. They call it Everglass. It's not quite plastic. It's not quite glass, but it's something of both. And they call it Everglass. It's very durable, very able to withstand the pressures and stuff that you're under. And you're looking, and again, it's pitch black underneath the dome because you're miles beneath the surface. So there's stuff swimming out there, but you don't know what it is because you can't see it. There's no like lights going on out into the ocean. There's just no need for it. But there is lights, focusing on what's going on in the city. Of course, there's all these huge dome lights and stuff like that going everywhere. So it's like perpetually Whoop, lost my camera. It is perpetually daytime. For want of a better word, on the station, because lights are tend to be always on. Of course, you can go into your buildings and turn them off and stuff like that to get the to get all that other stuff done. Have like sleep cycles and stuff like that. It's again, it's kind of like what you would expect from a culture that's raised around a prison. It's everything's very gray, very cold, very unwelcoming. Not a lot of color around. People are wearing black and gray tunics and stuff like that. Very utilitarian sort of clothes. Jumpsuits, that kind of a deal. People suffering from a very severe vitamin D deficiency. A lot of pale skin down here. Stuff like that. So you can basically it's like almost like in a train station. There's arrows and stuff pointing you to all these different desks, and you're looking for the information desk.
Yep. And where is it?
It points you down. It's like down this way, go down this hallway a couple, 100 feet, turn right, that kind of a deal. It points you right on the way. It's like trying to find those signs in a hospital. You just keep going down hallways until you hit the right one, hit the right desk.
I'm super excited about this, like a trip to the library. So
exactly, you are excited. So exactly. And everybody else is like, bureaucracy.
What are you talking about? My character likes libraries.
Well, that's true.
They have really good fish tacos here.
I bet the fish tacos are amazing, right? So you are in Dragon's Dome. You're getting down towards the information desk, and there is a Mr. Turner, fairly plump sort of a gentleman. He's definitely getting his share of the rations down here. Kind of a reddish ginger hair, kind of balding on top. Human, again, very very pale. He's kind of has a tight kind of set of like gray coveralls. And he comes up to you. He sees you coming up. Is the whole group with him, or is it just Professor Damien?
Whoever wanted to come. Yeah.
You bring in your entourage. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Something to read.
Nice. So you guys are coming out. So he sees you and he brightens up and he goes, how can I help you today?
Well, I was hoping you could help me, good man. I want to access some records, and I'll just give them a brief overview. I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I know the approximate era and time I'm looking for, so I'll start there.
Okay. So he does ask you like some questions. He's like, some initial questions, and he pulls out like this stack of forms. And everybody's looking at me. It's like an inch thick, and you're like, and everybody else is like, he's got to fill out all of that. They're all like tabbed and stuff like that.
I bet we could go find some street like.
What's the technology level of this planet?
It's Tech level 9.
It's digital.
Yeah,
He's got a screen flip 1,000 times.
Yeah,
That's all he's got to do.
Yeah, exactly. He's just got to. Yeah, exactly. It is like a glass. You're like looking. It's got like 15 megs of data on it that you kind of got to fill out. Let's record it. So
Hey,
not paper.
Hey, Matt.
Yo.
I pull out several Draxian chocolate bars, put on his desk. Say, can we speed this up a bit?
Oh, nice. So is this is persuade? I need a persuade roll.
I think that's bribery, but yeah, I'll do persuade.
Is there bribery? Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, it's under persuade.
Yeah, there is no bribery. I'm joking.
Yeah, it is bribery. Yeah, exactly.
And what do I add to it for characteristics?
Social.
Social will be an 8 then.
An 8, and he's looking, and he's like, "My God, where did you get that?"
From Draxian, that's right. Around the label.
He's like, he's sniffing that. He's like, "What is this?"
It's 78% cocoa.
Cocoa.
Have you never had chocolate before?
No.
Oh, I thought you had it on this planet. You need here. Open up. Try a piece.
He rips it up. He smells it. He's like, that is an amazing odor. Wow. He's like, smell this, Kathy. And there's like a little assistant over there. He's like, smell it. Kathy's eyes lighten up. She's like, little blonde, kind of perky little assistant, kind of a deal. She's like, Kathy's sort of smelling it and going, oh wow. She goes, and they both pick off a piece and oh, that's heavenly. That's amazing. Wow. I'm thinking like the sugar rush and stuff, and they're like,
you can actually bite it and eat it. It's really good.
Wow. How many of these do you have?
I have one more if you would help things, my friend here to get his information.
Nice. So so he's looking at that. He goes, we can sift through a lot of this. And he's like, but basically I have a few questions here. So what era are you really looking to look at?
For the win.
I've got it shared somewhere, Matt, but I'll cite the era that I'm looking for.
Somewhere around 2,000 years ago, some of that era, and they're like, oh, that's when a lot of this was all being built around here. I don't even think Dragonstone existed. It was just the prison. So what specifically are you looking for, if you don't mind me asking?
We're armchair archaeologists, and we're looking for some information related to some ships that may have passed through here, maybe lead here. So
yeah, like the last ones that you found, and the last one you found on Thebes was a Sindalian courier ship.
Yeah.
So if you want to ask for that, you definitely get.
Especially pertaining to Sindalian courier ships. You see, and then I would like to go into like a 5-minute ramble about the linguistic history of Volani, and make sure that I built it in somehow to Sindalian cruisers and their effect upon the phonemes. So yeah, there we go.
Got it. While he's going to his whole spiel, like you see, everybody visibly sees Mr. Turner's eyes light up when he mentions Sindalian courier ship. And he discreetly presses a button on the desk, and while you're going through your whole diatribe kind of thing, like 5 armed guards all just kind of show up and surround you guys. They're armed with pistols. They're not out, but they do have pistols and like stun sticks. But 5 of them come out and surround you guys, and they're like,
"This is about, sir."
He goes, well, things were a little. It's surprising you weren't aware of that before you came here. Things were a little with our relations with the Sindalian Empire back then. So any questions about that really needs to be addressed further up the chain than I. So we're going to have to get a couple other officials involved in here. Don't worry, you're not under arrest yet.
Yeah. What's keyword yet?
But
sense. I mean, we come to a library, right?
Yeah, it's just that's sort of classified information, and the fact that you knew that there would be that around here at the time. We're just going to have a much more private discussion about that.
What do you mean at that time? It was the Sindali Empire. They were everywhere.
Yes.
That's not uncommon knowledge.
And as your historian might have told you, they lost. So,
but this is about language, not war. Says the man holding.
Exactly. This is information, sir, and information can be weaponized. We're just going to have a much more private discussion. Actually, we may have to bring the warden in on this.
I'm going to reach over and take a chocolate bar away.
You're taking one of the chocolate bars away, like. That just wasn't even nice.
You shouldn't have got it to begin with.
He's like, well, no, that's just
The king of Drinax is going to hear about this. We are like,
that's just like, the king.
I mean, would you like to have
the king.
I mean, would you like to have a shipment of chocolate bars delivered to you monthly?
He's looking at the guards, and the guards are all looking at him, like tilting their head, like, what?
I hadn't would chocolate bar one of the guards.
And he's like waving his hands. He's like, I don't know what you mean anymore about these chocolate bars. You need to go on. he's not going to confess to the bribery in front of the guards.
You've got a little something on your feet.
He's like, what is that, coffee? I don't know. So basically, he gathers you up. He goes, follow me again. We're fine. We're all fine. We're just talking here, and he goes down a couple other halls, and you see like much more official sort of signs and stuff like administration, the offices of the interior and blah 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 blah. You're going up the chain, as he says, as you're going down to all these different offices. And again, these are all like gray concrete, walls and corridors, like steel doors. Looks like any part of this place could be compartmentalized at any time, kind of like a sub. It's got just all the doors sealed. So yeah, it takes you on to several different areas, and then he takes you into basically the office of the warden. Blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, we're seeing the big person, in charge and stuff like that. So yeah, you go to this one fairly dark room. I want to kind of lay it out like that Twilight Zone episode where Burgess Meredith's character was declared like an enemy of the state, and he's led in that dark room with that long table. And there's like a judge's like station at the other end, kind of a deal, kind of high up overseeing them. I'm forgetting is it enemy of the state or something like that? I forget what it is. You know the one I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah.
Where he was because he read that he was declared an enemy of the state, kind of stuff like it. So it's like a dark kind of room with like a spotlight over this long table. Kind of a deal, and there's like seats for all of you at this table, and the Turner and stuff comes out, and they're like Mr. Turner goes and talks to like one of the little aides under the desk that's unmanned. There's nobody at the desk high up at this moment, but he talks to like one of the aides that's like bustling around underneath the desk. He's like, well, we request an audience with Warden Reneb. And he's looking at the station. And he's looking over at you guys at the table. He's clicking off different things on the glass, And he's like, like a bulletin board, just checking it off on his sheet. And so it's like, and you're all like, for like a few minutes, nobody's answering any questions or anything like that. They're all just kind of standing there waiting. They're like, please wait. Everything will be talked about, in a minute. It's like a few tense minutes, and then all of a sudden, like one of the aides, stamps like his kind of like sword pommel on the table, kind of like a hammer, and stamps the sword pommel. And he's like, all right, stun stick. He would have a stun stick, so he taps his stun stick on the table. He's like, all rise for Warden Reneb as she enters the room, and so everybody looks and like. Just over the you see like a little bit of movement behind the desk, and you're like, what is this? You just a little bit of motion, like right, at the bottom of the desk there again, which is about 8 feet high. It's the desk is set up really, really high to have a commanding view of the area. There's just like the seats getting moved, behind it, stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, kind of plopping up in the chair, rather precociously, is what appears to be an 8-year-old girl.
I blink.
really thought it was going to be Tabitha.
I blinkety blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at Hashna's expression.
I also look at Hashna and then I look at the judge, Your Honor.
And yeah, she looks just like this, and it couldn't be more than 8. And she's got like the long, straight, dark hair, stuff like that. And she sits up, and she sits up at the desk, like her head is just up enough on the desk that you can see her. And she's wearing, the only, she has like this necklace with a set of keys on it that looks highly ceremonial and stuff like that. And she goes, "Warden, you may address me as Warden."
I'm sorry, Warden what?
Warden Renib.
Renette.
Rannib. Warden Renib.
Okay. Warden Renib, why are we here?
And he's like, looks like you're asking. He's like looking at the glass that the Mr. Turner is brought. Mr. Turner hands it up to the dais, and she goes, "Looks like you're here asking about a Sindalian courier."
That's correct. That's correct, Warden. We are archaeologists, and we're curious about the history of the Sindalian cruiser and its effect on the Volani language. And I'll go ahead and I'll give her the same boring diatribe I gave everyone else. I'll cover what we're actually looking for here.
Okay. So are you doing? What are we doing? Like advocate or?
Sure, I can do advocate.
Yeah, because basically you're outlining like why you're looking for this Sindalian courier.
Yeah, I rolled an 8 on advocate.
8 on advocate. Okay, so they're looking at it, and she's like, she's looking through. So she goes, so you're basically looking for a courier ship which could have been here at that time, and he's like, Mr. Turner, do you have the records of any courier ships at that time? And Mr. Turner's like, yes, there was one that was confiscated at that time. The pilots were imprisoned, and the ship was confiscated and submerged. And so they're like, and the warden's like, the ship is submerged, so it's still down there, and it's still down here. And he's like, it should be. The normal procedure would have been to encase it in everglass and submerge it, and then if the pilots were in prison, I'm sure they died eons ago, sir.
Absolutely. See, as archaeologists, there's certainly nothing untoward, Warden, about what we're asking for. We're simply curious about pieces of the past, and if you'd like, I can certainly send you some of my better works on the Volani Empire and blah 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 blah.
So you're talking about having an 8-year-old girl read books. Awesome. Yeah. So they're basically, they're like, and she's talking. She's talking.
Just as a point, the Volani Empire is the one that introduced the pony that happens to be on the scout symbol.
Ponies. Ponies.
I'm gonna break out the chocolate.
Can I use my scanner?
You'd have to do like a deception roll for people to not see you use your scanner.
Okay.
Yeah.
11.
11 on deceive? Yeah. Okay, so like you're like kind of like have it underneath the table.
Yeah, I'm going to scan the warden for cybernetics, things like that.
Oh, got it. Yeah, do computers, electronics.
12 on sensors.
12 on sensors thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it.
Okay.
All right, got it. So yeah, you do like a quick, flip on the screen, turn it off. Kind of under the table.
Else?
No, nothing here. Nothing on here. The sensor's telling you that you're not seeing with your eyes. So yeah, but good question. So and basically, she talks with Mr. Turner for a little bit, off to the side, and Mr. Turner comes up and explains it to you. She says, "We just had to do a little explanation, in case the king has any questions about this Sindalian courier being imprisoned. This was, centuries ago." He says you must understand. Back then, when all this was happening, the Sindalian Empire, nobody really knew how the war was going to go. And so the warden at that time basically decided to hold that courier until they see which way the winds of the war was going. And of course, when the rebels won, he had no choice but to hide any evidence of that courier being here. So he had imprisoned the actual pilots, the courier pilot themselves, and then submerged the ship to have any record of it. And he says, we just want to make sure that the king of Drinax understands that was done, because of what happened at the time. We're not apologizing for it. We're just offering that explanation. So the king, he basically is like, please tell the king, this is why our planet did this.
Certainly. And 2,000 years ago, I can't see how that would have a terribly large amount of bearing on what is currently happening in the galaxy today. That's why we're simply historians, not interested in causing any kind of uproar.
I take a stem.
Be on our way.
And he goes, yes, we can give you the location of where the ship was submerged. I mean, our scientists can track it for tidal drift or anything like that, and give you a fairly accurate, fix on where it might be. I mean, there's no tracker or anything on it, but
we understand that, but we would appreciate any assistance that number one or the warden could provide for us.
Got it. And basically, like the warden brings out the glass, and she signs on it. He goes, "I give permission as." Get out her titles. As I, Warden Renib, Governor General by appointment of the Star Dragon. That's where she's automatically claiming fealty to the King of Drinax. This is a big thing. The Star Dragon is King Olo. Governor General by appointment of the Star Dragon, Grand High Choki, Administrator of the Starport, and Lord Regent of the World of Number One. Grant you permission to salvage this vessel and all of its contents were in.
As soon as she says, what was it, High Choki?
Yeah.
I calm cat killer down.
He's like, she jokes people, dude.
I like her, boss.
She's all right. She likes joking, dude. I was like, so basically, she's giving you like a permission to go salvage this ship. So yeah, that's that. That's the this whole like hours long thing was like kind of giving you like the glimpse of bureaucracy in its highest form. You have to go through all these different channels and stuff like that just to get this done. And then Mr. Turner's like, okay, yeah, here's your permit. You are free to go get the vessel. I might recommend that you hire a submersible to try to get this vessel because it's way down there, way down here. Because I want to say.
Is there a reputable one that the warden or the court would recommend?
He goes, well, he says, most of the vessels are engaged in, mining operations and stuff like that. You might be able to find one for hire. And he points you. He goes, that's really. He's trying to say that's not my department without saying that's not my department. But he's like, if you would go to, requisitions for travel, I'm sure you could find a suitable craft.
Paperwork that needs to be filled out.
Yeah. He goes and he gives you like several writs for this, to kind of, based off your permit, and he gets, he clears through like about, another 3 hours worth of red tape, trying to get all that done. But yeah, basically you have to go to hire one out. He's not like your travel agent. He's the information broker. So he will inform you. You go down that way and you can rent a sub. Go to rent a sub.
For those coordinates, or
yeah, they give you the coordinates about where it should be. It's kind of stuff like that. Yeah, ask for Captain Quint.
All right, we got it. Let's go.
So yeah, you basically go to like the Dragon's Dome version of Hertz rental sub. Kind of deal. And you go and basically just do a little what are we going to do? Research? Yeah, research. Investigate. Yeah, investigate.
rent a car or rent a car?
Yeah, basically just basically looking out, seeing if there's any free. You're doing some investigation to see who's free, who's up for hire, blah 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 blah.
Got it. There you go. 12.
12. So yeah, you do see one that would be free in a day. That would be up for hire. A submersible called the Barnacle. The captain is Captain Greenfell. She would be glad to hire out for what looks to like be like a day trip for the small price of 30,000 credits.
Oh.
Oof.
Yeah. You have that kind of money,
Can we
Captain?
broker that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a price to be had for the peace of mind of not explosively decompressing as we go down, but that seems a little steep.
Yeah,
I agree.
can anybody? I don't have broker, but who has broker?
Not
My
me.
character does.
Yeah, Tony, can you see if you can get a better rate?
What characteristic?
That'd be broker.
No, I mean,
Oh,
education, social.
Intel. I'm gonna go with Intel or social. Obviously, your choice.
Okay, 8.
8. So yeah, that is a little high price. You're thinking she's boosting it up because you need it done now, kind of deal.
Well, tell you this: 25,000. We'll do the 30,000 if we find it in a day and we get what we want. Otherwise, it's 25,000 if it takes more than one day.
25,000. Shoot you back. Shoot you back on that. Yeah, you get a message back from her saying, "Deal done."
That was easy.
It was easy. It was easy.
Mm.
We got an engine room full of jewels. Relax.
Yeah. I mean, you do.
I know,
You
but
got money.
you know what?
Well, how much does
The
what do
minute
these
we pay for
submersibles
things.
cost?
The submersible itself.
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, we're talking about like a mini sub. It's
Yeah.
not cheap.
You're close to the $1 million credit range.
3
Okay.
million. 3 million, honestly.
So I can still
That's
buy
close.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 3 million. And it is built specifically to handle the depths of this thing.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't take the Dragnar down, even though the Dragnar could go underwater. You could not survive these depths. So yeah, it's kind of like the only thing. Do me some investigate or recon while you're looking around.
Uh,
10.
10. So yeah, I mean, this is after you struck the deal. You kind of did things like on the hurry, on the fly, and you're looking around like most, even though a lot of the excursions, a lot of the vessels here are contracted out, to do mining and stuff like that. Most of your, I guess like Uber, Uber submersibles would only contract out for like about between 5 to 10,000 for a day. So this person really put you over a barrel for almost like triple the rate. But the deal has been done.
When do we have to meet this person?
Huh?
We've been doing this all remote.
Yeah,
Actually.
tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Over the day, when you start researching this, you're like, it's kind of like when you buy like a hotel room and you go back and research it, and you're like, I could have got this a lot cheaper. It's kind of like,
but like Sir Actively said, do we really care if we?
Yeah, but like, yeah,
here? Exactly.
Because
one, we're on a time crunch. We have to get this information and go to the next spot.
Exactly. So here, like, here's where we got to go decide, because Teldrift, you got to leave here in about 10, right? Teldrift, are you with me?
Yes,
So you got to leave in about 10, right?
that's right.
Yeah. I hate for this whole adventure to just be like the bureaucracy thing, but it is a good stopping point before we actually get to the ship.
It's fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Really
Yeah, because the really kind of like the core kind of stuff I would need Teldrift for would be the next part, or the what could make or break the game would be the next part. So I'd rather keep him around for that. He's not necessary, but he could be a game changer, so to speak.
So is he going to have to communicate with the giant sea monster that attacks us?
Well, he's done it before. It wouldn't be the first time.
And it might be a little harder than before since I got a brand new collar.
We'll turn it off. Don't worry.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and stop this recording.